Morning folks, I'm Dave Canterbury with Self-Reliance Outfitters in the Pathfinder School, and I've been on a tear over the last few months, going crazy over hammocks, trying to figure out, use different hammock setups, different suspension systems, different ways to make hammocks and things like that. And I've been doing a lot of personal research and practice and things like that. And one of the things I wanted to show you today real quick was a way that you can make a hammock very quickly with your tarp in very simple fashion. And I made a video and I actually used a system on Dirty Rotten Survival on how to make a tarp using simple wrap sticks with your tarp that you could use in conjunction with a couple pieces of strap and set yourself up with a hammock of sorts in the woods. I want to show you another way to do that today, utilizing two metal rings. And I carry metal rings like this quite a bit with me in my haversack because they're very useful for making tripods, for marline spike type hitches to hang things off of, as well as lots of other things. But one thing we're going to use them for today is to make a hammock from our tarp. And this is a very simple system I want to show you. It's very effective. It works really good with an oilcloth tarp. I can't tell you how good it would work with a sil nylon tarp, but I suspect as long as you had a good stout tarp, it would probably work with a heavier sil nylon tarp as well. So stay with me, we're going to get started. All right, so I've got a length of webbing here. I usually carry a couple 25-foot lengths of this 1-inch webbing. Works great for pack straps, tying things down, dragging a deer out of the woods, tying stuff to a trailer or four-wheeler, whatever the case may be. It works really good for that. And then I've got two of these steel rings. I'll get one of them out of my pocket. And I've got an 8x8 oilskin tarp here, and this is a really old one. It's got a few rips and tears in it, things like that. It's probably at least 3 years old, this one, maybe a little bit more. It's been used quite a bit. So if the investment lasted me 3 years of heavy use and now it's starting to get wore out and I've just got to use it for throwing over firewood and things like that to keep it dry, that's fine with me. So we're going to use this as our demonstration. And what we're going to do is we're going to take one corner of this and we're going to pull about 2 feet of that corner out to a point. And we're going to pull it right through this ring. And then we're going to wrap that tail over the top of the ring and gather it up. We want about 1.5 feet or 2 foot right there. Then what we're going to do is we're going to come behind and come through and come behind and come over the top. Very simple. Very much like we were tying a necktie of sorts. Now we're just going to take our webbing, find the center of our webbing, and we're going to come over the top of that just like this and pull that web strap straight through that ring. And of course, just like mule tape, you bring every stick in the woods with you when you do this stuff. And that friction right there is going to hold that as one side of your hammock. That quick, that simple. So let me show you that one more time. All right, so we start off by laying our tarp out on the ground flat. And this is a square tarp 8x8. And I grab one corner of that tarp and I pull about 2 feet of it evenly through. And on this one I'm going up to a tie-out point here and a tie-out point here. That way I know I'm pretty even. Now I'm going to fold that over the top just like this. And I'm going to come back around behind it and come through. And then back around behind again and come over the top. Just like this. And that's going to leave me a little bit of a tail there. And there's my two tie-out points right there. And now I'm just going to take the end of my loop and I'm going to put it over the top just like this and pull the tails right through that ring. And that is my hang system for one side. That friction will hold, just like that. All right, so we've got everything here pulled tight. We've tucked that up, just like that. It's pulling against it and forcing it against the back side of that ring, just like this. Now we're just going to come up here and hang it. Get it up high enough that we can get our 30-degree hang angle that we want and still get it fairly tight, at least until we get what we think is our right angle. what I'll do is I'll come around this tree with these straps one time, come back one time, just like this. And when I come back around the second time, here, I just pull a loop. I just pull a loop through it. Just like this. Hope I'm not getting in your way being left-handed here. So I pull that loop through, just like this, which gives me a self-tightening knot there, constricting against the tree, but lets it come undone with just a pull. So I have no knots, as actual knots that I'm going to have to get undone in this thing at all when I get done. Okay, so once you've got that done, you've got basically a saggy ridge line right here, it looks like, and you've got a triangle hanging on the ground. So what you want to do is find about the center of that and just sit into it, just like this. And then you've got basically the two sides that are loose right here. You can kind of throw that over your shoulder and just kind of roll into it, figure out where the center is. Pull that thing up over top of you so you got cover. And you can pretty much side sleep in this thing if you need to. You don't have to get centered in it. You can side sleep in it. Not going to get the same coverage of your body at night you would by sleeping straight up and down in it, but you can definitely side sleep in it if you want to, if that's more comfortable for you. And it's definitely a good, quick, easy hammock system. All right, guys, well, the advantage to something like this is that it involves kit that I may be already carrying. I'm not carrying a hammock in this case. I've got my wool blanket and my tarp. I generally sleep on the ground, but I've come to an area where it's damp or soggy and I don't want to sleep on the ground tonight. I can get a hammock set up in less than 5 minutes, very, very quick and effectively, get myself up off the ground. It's another tool for your toolbox, and that's what's important. I appreciate you guys joining me for this video today. I thank you for everything you do for our school, for our family, and for our business, for all of our sponsors, instructors, affiliates, and friends. And I'm Dave Canterbury with Self-Reliance Outfitters and the Pathfinder School. I'll be back with another video as soon as I can. Thanks, guys.